Let's do some quick math. $80 a month versus $0.027 a day. That's what I call the sleep tax. And right now, most American men over 60 are being quietly robbed blind. Every time you drop nearly $100 at the pharmacy for a bottle of synthetic calm, you aren't buying a cure. You're leasing your own biology from a system that gets rich every time you stay anxious and exhausted. It's a pharmacy ransom, plain and simple. It leaves you waking up with a heavy head and a foggy brain. But here's the deal. The ancient Greeks had a secret that allowed them to own their peace instead of renting it. I call it the $0.027 sleep bomb. It's a biological reset button that costs less than 3 cents to start, and eventually, it's free for life. We're talking about a specific nerve shield that scours the nerve rust right out of your system while you sleep. Stick with me for the next few minutes. I'm not just going to tell you what this ancient tool is. I'm going to reveal the exact 10-minute protocol used by history's greatest philosophers to force the brain into deep, restorative rest. If you're tired of being a loyal customer to your own exhaustion, it's time to fire your pharmacist. Let's reclaim your independence. Think back 2,000 years. The Greeks didn't have a pharmacy on every corner. They had Melissa. That's the botanical ancestor of what we call lemon balm today. To those men, this wasn't just some decorative garden herb. It was a mandatory tool for keeping a patriarch's spirit quiet and his mind sharp. But the Greeks were just the start of the story. By the Middle Ages, Carmelite monks were distilling this plant into a legendary liquid calm to fix the racing hearts of weary travelers. Fast forward to the Renaissance, and it earned a new title, the scholar's herb. The sharpest thinkers of that era realized it could scour away the fog of age, letting them stay focused and decisive well into their 80s. It was the original nerve shield for men who carried the weight of the world on their shoulders. Even here in early America, long before the era of the $80 orange bottle, our grandfathers kept lemon balm growing right by the porch. They knew a man's true strength is rooted in his ability to stay steady when the pressure is on. This 2 cents 27 sleep balm isn't some new age discovery. It's a recovered weapon that has outlasted empires and outpaced every synthetic pill ever made. The blueprint for your peace has been sitting in the dirt for centuries, just waiting for you to reclaim it. But make no mistake, this isn't magic. It's precise biology. Let's look at why this ancient shield is so lethal to modern insomnia. Now, don't get this twisted. This isn't ancient folklore or a feel-good remedy. We're talking high-level biological engineering here. The reason the sleep balm is so lethal to insomnia is because of a specific compound called rosmarinic acid. Think of this acid as the guardian for your brain's natural brake pedal, a neurotransmitter called GABA. When you're staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m., it's usually because an enzyme is sabotaging your GABA, leaving your brain's engine racing like a freight train with no stop sign. Lemon Balm steps in and physically blocks that attack. It forces your nervous system to finally downshift from that jagged fight or flight mode straight into deep, restorative recovery. And the data isn't just promising, it's definitive. A landmark clinical trial published in the Mediterranean Journal of Nutrition and Metabolism showed that a simple extract of this plant helped 80% of participants achieve full remission from their insomnia in only 15 days. That is a massive shift. Over in the UK, researchers at the University of Northumbria found it doesn't just put you to sleep. It actually boosts your cognitive performance and keeps you calm, even when life is redlining. Unlike that pharmacy ransom that leaves you feeling groggy or stoned the next morning, this botanical shield has a 0% hangover rate. Even the Cleveland Clinic recognizes its power to calm the nervous system without the dependency risks of modern pills. It scours the nerve rust while you sleep, so you wake up with the mental edge a man in his 60s actually needs to lead his family. But listen, science is useless without a solid game plan. You don't need a lab for this biological reset. You just need 10 minutes and a specific set of rules to make sure you don't burn off the medicine before it ever hits your cup. Let's head to the garden. It's time for the $0.027 protocol. Here's the deal. Building a sleep bomb is about one thing: control. You've got two paths here to fire your pharmacist and finally take back your nights. First, there's the bulk strategy. If you're living in a high-rise or just don't have the dirt to dig in, this is for you. But listen, stay away from those supermarket tea bags. Those things are just filled with tea dust. Stale, leftover scraps wrapped in bleached paper. They've lost their punch before they even hit the shelf. Instead, go online and buy organic loose-leaf lemon balm by the pound. At about 10 cents a cup, it's a solid deal. But at the end of the day, it's still just a transaction. Now, for the ultimate reset, you choose the Patriarch's path. Go spend $10 on a couple of seedlings at a local nursery. This plant is a perennial powerhouse. It's almost impossible to kill. It laughs at neglect, and it comes back every single year for free. When you grow it yourself, you're consuming living chemistry. Fresh leaves have volatile oils that the dried stuff loses the second it's processed. By year 2, your cost isn't $0.027, it's zero. Precision is what separates a backyard tea from a biological weapon. Here's the execution. I call it the payload. 1. The dosage. Harvest 8 to 10 large fresh leaves. Don't just toss them in the mug. You've got to crush them thoroughly with a spoon or your fingers until they bleed the medicine. You're physically breaking the cell walls to get that rosmarinic acid working for you. 2. The fuel. Use exactly 8 ounces of water. That's 250 milliliters. You want a concentrated strike, not some diluted mess. 3. The temperature command. Never use boiling water. Let it cool for 2 minutes until it hits roughly 176 degrees Fahrenheit or 80 degrees Celsius. Excessive heat just kills the nerve shield. This next part is where most guys fail. Pour the water and cover that cup immediately. I call this the 10-minute lockdown. During minutes 1 to 5, the heat starts pulling out those deep antioxidants. From minute 6 to 10, that's when the rosmarinic acid reaches its peak concentration. Keep that lid on tight. It forces those volatile oils to condense and drop back into your cup. Without a lid, your sleep bomb just evaporates into the room, and you're left with nothing but scented water. Drink this 30 to 45 minutes before you hit the rack. Usually, 1 cup a day is plenty to lock your brain into a state of deep restorative rest. But if you've had a brutal day, have a second cup at 3 p.m. That scours away the anxiety interest rate before it can build up. It gives those compounds time to cross the blood-brain barrier and kickstart your GABA system. You aren't just drinking tea, you're executing a targeted strike on your own stress. But this journey is about more than just a good night's sleep. Let's look at the final piece. The legacy of a man who actually owns his own peace. But here's the kicker. This nerve shield isn't just some personal tool. It is the centerpiece of a resilient home. Think about your grandkids for a second. When they're wound up or anxious about school, this same sleep balm acts as a steady anchor for their young nervous systems. It gives them focus and calm without some doctor handing them a prescription they don't need. Or take your wife. If she's battling a brutal week or her stomach is tied in knots from stress, bringing her a fresh cup from the garden you planted is the ultimate gesture of protection. It's you taking care of your own. And here is the thing. It doesn't stop at your fence line. Lemon balm is a plant of pure abundance. It grows so fast and so strong that your real duty as a patriarch is to divide those roots and hand a start to the guy next door. You aren't just giving him a plant, you're handing him the keys to fire his own pharmacist. You become the source of wisdom and health in your neck of the woods, the man who actually knows how to scour away the stress of this modern world for just 2 cents and 27 cents. This is exactly how we build a real legacy. We stop being loyal customers, and we start being providers again. You aren't just growing a garden herb, you're growing independence for every single person you love. When you finally own your own piece, you'll find you've got more than enough to share. That is what being a leader is all about. Standing tall and making sure your entire circle is protected.
Real talk. We've spent our whole lives building, providing, and leading the people who depend on us. We've done the heavy lifting for everyone else. So, it's high time we stopped being passengers in our own health and started owning our peace of mind again. The blueprint is right there in your hands, and that sleep tax you've been paying ends the very second you decide it does. No more ransom. Before I let you go today, I've got one question for you. Are you heading down to the nursery tomorrow morning to plant your own nerve shield? Or are you going to stay a loyal customer to that $80 orange bottle for another month? Be honest and let me know your choice in the comments below. You see, your decision might be the exact spark another brother needs to stop making excuses and reclaim his own independence. If you're ready to stop renting your rest from a giant corporation and start owning your vitality, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Join us here at Vitality After 60. It's time we took our health back, and we're doing it one garden at a time. This is Vitality After 60. Stay vital, stay independent, and God bless.